Mishimoto is garbage because it is manufactured in China.
Sure.
There are other companies out there like AFE, CSF, Wagner Tuning. They're all making similar products, like intercoolers, radiators. Why Mishimoto? Like, what makes you guys so special? Let's go back to that question with the competitors. What do you think about the guys who are really not doing the engineering, or they claim to be doing engineering? Okay guys, and welcome back to a new Talking Mods episode. This one is a little bit different. We're actually talking mods with Ricky here from Mishimoto. So, Ricky, tell us about yourself before we jump into this.
Sure, yeah, thank you. Great to be here. Great to be sort of kicking off a new thing for Talking Mods. Love the content that you've been putting out.
Thank you.
So, happy to be here from the East Coast. We're based in Newcastle, Delaware, so I'm a little way from home, the time zone. I'm still adjusting.
Thank you for flying all the way here to California.
Yeah. Happy to be here. So I'm the sales and marketing manager at Mishimoto. I've been there for almost 6 years now. So just happy to be out here and paying you a visit and hitting some cool events while I'm here.
Awesome. I think you guys are going to Subi Fest, right?
Yep, Subi Fest. We were just at Off-Road Expo, so we make our way around.
So guys, you're wondering why did I pick Mishimoto? Why I did ask, and I said, hey, I'm going to be asking some really tough questions. And he just said, yeah, I'm willing to answer it, but I have a lot of respect for what they're doing because they have been investing into engineering. And from what I have seen out of Mishimoto is, yes, a lot of people think of your products as just cooling, but it's about pushing the vehicle to its limit.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of the philosophy that you guys have. And this is not a marketing thing. Yes, we carry their stuff, and that's the quick shameless plug, ModBargains, as you guys know. But that's not what this is about. This is about understanding the mods, and I kind of have this thing where I really want people to get the value out of what they're paying for. And that's what I've respected what you guys have done. And I want to talk about what you guys have done. And I kind of want to see how the future is going to look as well.
Sure, great, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Okay, so Ricky, you're a car enthusiast. So
absolutely.
I need to know, what car do you drive first of all, because I'm sure that's kind of like your credentials, right? And then what do you do at Mishimoto?
Sure.
And what's the philosophy behind Mishimoto? Maybe I gave my explanation, but
sure.
How do you see it? And then we can jump into some of the questions that we have.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So about me, I'm the sales and marketing manager. So my team, a lot of great people. So we're responsible for the video and social content that you see, all of our B2B and B2C marketing. As you know, we have a pretty large presence in the market. We're very, very proud of that.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide. And yeah, I drive a Turbo Miata. Came from Huntington Beach, California, and I bought it when I was in grad school in 2008. So I've had that thing for a while. So yeah, I'm super stoked to be at Mishimoto.
Nice.
Fortunately, they're local to me. Got into public relations, and fortunately, my role was able to kind of grow with the company, and most recently stepping into the sales space after being on purely the marketing side for a while. So I'm really excited to see where it keeps going.
I'm going to ask you just the toughest question, since I really want to know about Mishimoto.
Okay.
There's other companies out there.
There are,
and a lot of people. Yes, and a lot of people buy some of these products.
Sure.
And I'm not bashing anyone. Well, maybe I am. I want to see. I'm going to let you bash it if you want to. But there are other companies out there like AFE, CSF, Wagner Tuning. They're all making similar products. Like intercoolers, radiators. Why Mishimoto? Like, what makes you guys so special?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we respect our competition, and we're firm believers that competition raises the bar for everybody.
Sure.
Our goal is to be the market leaders that are setting the bar and pushing it one step further and one step further and one step further. We've invested in a 30,000 square foot engineering facility. It's where I work every day when I'm not here. I'm in a nice little upstairs area that I can look down. That we got 5 lifts, we have 2 all-wheel drive dynos, we have a flow bench, we have a production grade water jet, we have a small farm of 3D printers, we have extensive testing equipment for UV stability and salt spray testing, because we do have salt in
different weather climates.
Our neck of the woods that is not as nice as this. So we're committed to being an engineering company first,
Okay.
and an R&D company first, and we're firm believers in everything that we do and in our products, and we encourage everybody to check out our engineering blog. Shameless plug for that. We try to be as transparent as we possibly can with all that stuff, and to put out products that are absolutely leaders in terms of performance.
Sure.
But also we try to keep a price point that's reasonable, because at the end of the day, we're on the other side of the counter too. We're a team of enthusiasts.
And I'll say this for you guys. You guys do hit, and this is again coming from my side as the retailer selling to it. You guys do hit the nice value proposition, but I don't think your product is subpar.
Sure.
That rather than some companies will just charge more for a certain name. You guys do have a name. You guys are building on that reputation, and the engineering thing that you talk about. You guys don't get the views that you guys should. No offense, but there is real hardcore information on there for the guys who are really engineers who really want to get into the nitty gritty.
Yes.
I think they need to look at it.
Yes.
So
yes,
what do you think? So let's go back to that question of
Okay.
the competitors. What do you think about the guys who are really not doing the engineering, or they claim to be doing engineering, or certain horsepower numbers that we see out there? Are you guys? Have you guys done that in the past, or have you guys ever been caught doing that where your horsepower number, you can't reproduce those horsepower numbers?
No, we don't want to be in that situation.
Okay.
We don't want to be in a situation where some third party, whether it's an end user or whether it's someone like yourself generating content that is going to be out there, we don't want to be in a situation where we discredit ourselves. We stand behind our engineering.
Yeah.
We go out of our way to be transparent. I do wish more people would watch it. We get plenty. We get a lot of social media engagement. We're very proud of that. And we do have the content out there, and we just encourage everybody to check it out. And we do want the consumer to make an informed decision. And we put our stuff out there. We have an excellent customer support team. So if there's ever a question or a concern or whatever, please call us, email us, reach out to us, and our team is enthusiasts.
Yeah.
They know the stuff. So again, we stand behind it.
Okay. Cool. So I guess my next question comes into, how do you guys identify what products you're going to make? Because you guys are all over the place. Mishimoto is, in the Subaru STI.
Yep.
You're in BMW.
Yep.
You are in the truck market.
Yeah.
How are you guys selecting this? And then how do you guys, and this is kind of with the current times right now, we're in a very tough situation where as a retailer we have very limited amount of inventory. How are you guys meeting the demand for those products too?
I'll answer that one first and then
Sure.
and then circle back to the market stuff. This is the most challenging time, and it's challenging for all the best reasons. The market wants our products.
That's great.
Which is great. So we're just making sure that our manufacturing and logistics teams are 100% on point, getting stuff to where it needs to be. And that's all we can do. We're fortunate that we have a warehouse on the East Coast as well as the West Coast. So dealing with things like port congestion and things like that, we're able to kind of move stock around.
Nice.
And we're also fortunate that we have a very, very strong distribution network, folks such as yourself who have products on the shelf and aren't relying on our warehouse. So we're very fortunate in that regard. Our logistics team has been kind of working overtime, getting how many of these need to go to which place, but we're very fortunate that we have an excellent team in place.
Nice.
How do we determine what to bring to market?
Yeah, they just got
Any suggestions, let us know, because we do take.
So put it in the comments if you guys want them to develop something.
Yeah, please. So we started in Sport Compact, right? Sport Compact is our bread and butter. We saw different opportunities at different times, especially as we got more into. We started working more with like professional and pro-am type drift drivers and some other motorsports. They were all towing their cars to the track with some sort of full-size pickup. A lot of them were diesel. We realized, hey, these things have radiators and intercoolers too.
Right.
So that became another opportunity for us. The diesel market has been fantastic for us.
Okay.
It's been absolutely great for us. and then from there we've grown into the Jeep market.
Yeah.
We're expanding more into off-road.
So you're making products for cars that have been out for a while now, but you're
Mostly.
not first movers.
Sure.
And I'll kind of explain that a little bit. First movers, especially on the retail side with the consumer side, is you guys see the first product that gets released. The first mover, let's say the first major car that was produced was the Model T from Ford, right? The first major production car that was readily available. And that basically created a market leader.
Sure.
And I noticed that's not what you guys do. You want to maybe address that? I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing, personally, but I'll let you address it because I think it's a very important thing because a lot of people, when they're modifying their vehicles, they look towards the first mover because that's what's on the vehicles. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, there's definitely a benefit to having products sooner rather than later. I mean, it's one of those things that when new vehicles come out, we bought our Ranger very early on, and when the Ranger was first re-released to this market. Right. The Civic, the Type R, we ordered ours, but it was going to be like an extra week or two before we got it. So we actually brought in a loaner to 3D scan it and start prototyping stuff before we actually had our car. Wow. We did something similar with the Bronco recently.
So are you guys buying all the vehicles that you're developing for as well?
Mostly, yes. Wow. There are some where we use some loaner cars from friends and family and things like that. But yeah, predominantly yes. Our G80 we bought. So we do try to bring products to market as quickly as we possibly can. But again, we need to be able to stand behind our products. And that means not only doing performance testing, but also doing longevity testing and things like that take a longer period of time so
that you can stand behind it.
So that we can absolutely stand behind it. We offer a lifetime warranty on everything we sell.
That's actually huge, which is very different than most of the other brands that are out there. There's some brands that have a lifetime warranty, but I do think that's one of the big things that you guys have done.
Yes, yeah, and our lifetime warranty is we try to make sure it's the most comprehensive, the best in the business. We have we offer accident protection. Yeah. So as long as you have a police report,
this is new, right?
No. That's a little known fact.
I wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah. We as long as you have a police report for whatever happened. But yeah, I mean, like our warranty process isn't one of these. You have to send back the product at your expense and the car's down for 6 weeks and so on and so forth. With some pretty basic information, the serial number and some pictures of what's wrong. Our team can diagnose what's going on. You pay for shipping for the new product to get to you. It's on the way. A lot of times we can have claims handled within a day or two. That's our goal.
So obviously you stand behind us.
We stand behind it.
So let me ask you this question.
We don't want to be sending out.
Right. Yeah, of course not. Let me ask you this question that I've heard in this industry, and you can address it.
Sure.
And I've heard this often, so don't be offended because I think you will be. I hear oftentimes Mishimoto, and it's true. It's manufactured in China.
Absolutely.
But I hear this often where Mishimoto is garbage because it is manufactured in China.
Sure. Yeah, not a lot of our products are manufactured in China. We do manufacture elsewhere where it makes sense.
Sure.
Your iPhone is manufactured in China.
And designed where?
In California.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I often find that people just seem to not understand.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we have an excellent quality control team. We have, excellent facilities. We have excellent procedures. So we do excellent engineering, and we manufacture where it makes sense. In order to achieve that balance of performance and price. That again, we're on the other side of the counter.
I'm gonna say this out to you guys. I do endorse their stuff. I do think that the quality is there. They do stand behind their products. So I'm not gonna say that you guys don't. I hear it. Sure. And I think it's off. I wanted to bring it up because so many competing brands and people who don't know your product line will say that and you guys don't hide it. You guys don't hide it. You guys say it right off the bat. You guys are transparent with it. What I like about it is that there's actual engineering. And that's the one thing that you'll see that I always talk to people about. and when I try to educate people is I want to see what it's actually doing. And this is, guys, if you're really interested in the products and going and explaining what we're going to talk about, all these different the components themselves. I'm going to be doing a Know Your Mods video on the ModBargains channel. That's where I'm going to go into the nitty gritty of the actual product for Mishimoto, and we'll talk more specific. But here I wanted to talk about, kind of address these issues and talk about the company, and you know, that's what Talking Mods kind of gives that platform if hopefully people like it. So I'll give you another really tough one here.
Okay.
What do you guys think about, what is your feeling on CARB and the EPA and what's happening in the marketplace? And how are you guys addressing it?
Yeah, no, that's actually not a tough one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And we love performance, and we love doing race car things with race car people. We also try to be responsible in what we're doing.
Sure.
And one of the things, you know, the different requirements and things like that to be environmentally responsible while also modifying your car, again, pushes everybody to the next level to be better.
Right.
We are very proud to have the only F80 heat exchanger, charge pipe, and intercooler that has a CARB EO.
Congratulations on that.
We take thank you. It was not the CARB approval EO process is it's something that we've learned how to navigate, and it's something that when we're designing a product, it's something that we keep in mind. There are products that are race car products, like we have a performance intake for the Civic Type R. It has a CARB EO number. It's you know, street legal, whatever, you know. We also just released a race intake. It will never have it changes the MAF housing, which removes the main restriction for guys who are making a lot of power. It will never be CARB compliant. It just can't be. So we understand that, but it's something that we see value in. We understand that it's important to be, again, responsible with what we're doing, and it's really just pushing everybody to the next level. So I wouldn't. It does sort of direct. You know,
we're changing as a marketplace.
Yeah.
100%. And I think
100%.
certain companies are following that and going towards that, where they're being responsible.
Yep.
And that's kind of why I created some of the videos out there, so that the education was out there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like our industry is educated at all? Because I don't really feel like I've been saying this now for several years. And what are your thoughts? And how long did it take Mishimoto to kind of switch gears on this as well, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, I mean, hey, the CARB has been a thing since I've been at Mishimoto for the last 6 years. I mean, getting EO numbers.
What about the EPA though?
I think that California is a big enough market. Having things that are CARB EO'd.
If you have CARB EO, you automatically qualify to be legal in all 50 states. So the EPA recognizes CARB EO as a legal precedence for all 50 states. So that's why we're talking about CARB.
Yeah. So fortunately, we were ahead of the curve in the sense that, you know, we wanted, because California isn't the only CARB state.
That's right.
There's other ones out there, and wanting to be able to bring a product to the market that we don't have to do anything, you know, that you can then turn around and sell to your customer or anybody else in any of the 50 states without having to you know, extensively disclaim what you can and can't do with it.
Disclaimers don't work, but yes.
But, you know, that's something that's always been important to us. So fortunately, all the things that have recently been in the news, we were years ahead of the curve in the sense that we were already doing those things.
Do you think other companies are slowly getting finally into this, or do you think there's going to be a big resistance in our marketplace?
The marketplace is changing. I mean, and look at how many times the market's changed before, right? I mean, look at, you know, 1972 came around and we got rid of leaded gas, and we've been here before, and people have talked about the death of performance before. You know, people are concerned about the electric vehicles, you know, and what's that going to do to the market. The market is always changing. It's never,
it has its place.
Everything has its place, and it's interesting. I'm confident that we're continuing to be on or ahead of the curve of what's going on.
That's great. I think I talked about this in a different video, but businesses exist because there are problems. Inherent problems sometimes with the manufacturing that, yes, sometimes the OEMs address it, but oftentimes they forget or they miss a point. So I think one thing with the cooling especially is, I'm guessing you're addressing a lot of problems. That's the primary reason of your business.
And actually, especially in like the truck and Jeep space, JK radiators have a tendency of failing.
JK is a Jeep, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's a Jeep from 07 to 18. Well, 18 was a split year between JKs and JLs.
Just in case someone's wondering.
Those radiators, because of some of the inherent chassis flex and stuff like that, have a tendency to prematurely fail. So for that, we designed a core with fully strutted tubes, and we have some like relief cuts in the header plates and things like that, and some really cool things that we designed into that radiator, so that we can stand behind it with a lifetime warranty.
How does that one do now for you guys as a product?
Excellent.
That's what I meant. Because you've addressed an issue there.
And then there's cars that just don't have enough cooling. When you start adding power, you start generating more heat.
Exactly.
And so from a simple standpoint, especially when you start turning it up or you start tracking a car instead of just driving it around town or whatever the case is.
So I guess one of the things that I've talked about this, and when you're creating and building a car, it's about balance.
Yep.
So even if you're turning up the power in some way, or even if the car just has its natural power, sometimes there's power that's lost.
Yep.
Example would be the M3 again. The G80 M3, we used to run it here on the dyno, just do dyno runs. We weren't tuning it, but I would see that this power loss. We see like an 80 horsepower loss, which that's a lot of horsepower to lose on a car.
It is.
And I'm sure you guys saw that with your heat exchanger that you guys have now legal. So
for the F80.
For the F80.
F80,
not the G80. Sorry, the F80.
So hopefully we'll do the same thing for the G80.
Sure.
We're working on it, but yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But on the F80, I mean, that's probably the number one modification that I recommend to people. And that's a modification to save the power that's in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, they're like, oh, my car does, what does that car do? 400 and something horsepower.
A lot.
Yeah, it does a lot of horsepower. I'm like, sure, it does that. But after 3 minutes of driving it, or let's say 10 minutes of driving it, you lost about 80 horsepower.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. And there's some of the products that you guys have come out to the market. I think you guys have done a far better job. And I'll explain it in the catch can.
Yep.
I haven't talked about this on any of the videos. Hopefully I'll talk about it in the Know Your Mods. But the catch can is one of the products that I was like super passionate about because I got involved in designing one.
Okay.
And then you guys came out with it and took like all the stuff that I sat there drawing with another person who worked here. He was making his own. And we were like, these guys just built the perfect catch can. Like, it actually will work. And because all these other catch cans didn't work in the marketplace. Sure. Like, you guys are addressing problems that we see, that when we are in the shop, we see these issues. And I think when you guys do that as a company, any company, whatever company you guys do, even if you're just a car enthusiast and you work in anywhere else, my message to people is that that's going to be a successful recipe. So I appreciate that you guys do that in the engineering. Is there anything else that you want to bring up about Mishimoto before we wrap up, because we're kind of kind of a long episode.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. No, I think we covered it. I mean, as I mentioned, we do take those suggestions. We do appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and different. We very much appreciate it because we do as much research as we possibly can. We're all enthusiasts, and on our days off or in our garages doing it. So we see some of that stuff, but
like, what's the future for you?
The future for us.
Like, what do you guys see as, what are you guys working on the pipeline for the future for?
Yeah.
Or is that going to be really based on where the market drives you? You guys listen to the customer first, or do you guys have any like major big plans that you guys are going after? Both. If you guys can share it.
Yeah, both. And so in terms of we watch the market, right? Yeah. There's a new WRX coming out. There's a new Z coming out. Like these are cars that we know are.
Do you like an Z?
Of interest. I don't have a strong opinion, honestly, one way or the other. It seems like a cool car.
It looks pretty cool.
It seems like a cool car. Yeah. But yeah, we and then we have stuff come out of left field like the Q50, Q60. We had a couple of requests for heat exchangers and intercoolers. The heat exchanger is doing phenomenally well.
Amazing.
The intercoolers we expect to do similarly well. So
Right.
we are cognizant of where the market's going, but we also take that feedback. So truck and off-road is a continued strong focus for us.
Yeah.
That is a growing segment of the market. I think some of that is driven by there are less CARB or EPA concerns with a lot of the suspension modifications
Right.
and things like that. But there's also a need for cooling and for making sure that a vehicle has what it needs. So we can definitely add value in that space. But yeah, we're just excited for the future, man. Like I said,
I think you guys have a very exciting future moving forward.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
If you guys want to, and I think again, what they're doing is they're addressing issues, but put it into the comments below, as you mentioned below. If you enjoyed this content, I know it was a little bit different. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so. It always really does help us. It helps us grow this channel, so we can do segments like this and the other segments that you've seen. But put it into the comments below, and I'm sure they're going to be reading it, and suggestions, or even if there's certain things you guys want to bring up, issues, I'll do my best to answer on there, because I do try to answer as much as I can. And I will see you guys on the next Talking Mods.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.